I can't believe Tony Hawk is 55 years old. I mean, kids that grew up in the 80s and 90s right now, right? We are all adults with responsibilities. So what if you could go back in time, right? What would you do different? What would you do again? Like, would you be a race car driver? Would you be a football player? You know, would you be a purple-haired rock star, a break dancer? Well, I'll tell you what. Joseph did that, right? He kickflipped himself into a new life, from finance to skateboarding, right? So meet Joseph Romy, a former corporate suit and now up and coming skateboard mogul. Hey, what's up, Joseph? How are you, man?
What's
welcome to the show.
I'm good. How are you, man?
Good.
Thanks for
bro.
having me.
Yeah, most welcome. I mean, look, guys, welcome to another episode of Find the Real, where I believe everyone has a story. It doesn't matter what kind of background you have or what kind of career you're doing. Everyone has a story, and my job is to capture those stories for you, for both your entertainment as well as for you to learn from their experiences to become a better person, hopefully lah. Right? So, Joseph Romy, the founder of JR Skates. Today, I found out what JR stands for. I thought it was Junior. It's Joseph Romy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to share your experiences today about, how you started the skateboard scene, right? How did you move from a career in finance into skateboarding, right? And how you're running your business. So, Joseph, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself growing up in Kuching?
Okay, so growing up in Kuching, it was really nostalgic and memorable because growing up in Kuching, Kuching is a small city, right? So everyone knows everyone, and then as a teenager, we look forward for the weekend because Kuching is so small. We only have 1 or 2 shopping mall, you know. So all the teenagers will all lepak there lah, you know. So there's this one shopping mall we call Kuching Plaza.
Okay.
So Kuching Plaza is like the legend place lah, you know. All the OG would go there, you know. So Kuching Plaza on Saturday you will see all sort of kids, punk rock lah, grunge lah, bapok pun ada, you know. And it's a space. I would say it's a safe space for all teenagers that time, because when you were growing up as a teenager, you don't know where you belong or which vibe should I go to, or which group should I go to, or maybe I'm emo but I don't know where to go to, you know. So KP is the space lah, it's the place lah, you know. Yeah,
KP baby.
KP. We need to revive KP lah.
Okay, we'll talk to the Menteri Besar. Let's see if we got some hope, right?
Okay, staying in Tabuan Dayak in the kampung, you only play football or main guli or main layang-layang, you know. And then when you move out of it, and then as you grow up and you hang out in KP, and then KP, we have one of the best skate shop called Rupert Ridge. So Rupert Ridge is the only skate shop in Malaysia that distributes all the skateboard goodies those days, during the late 80s, 90s, like that.
Alright, so this was even before the Joe Ipo days.
During their days.
Okay.
During their days, yeah. So Rupert Ridge, they are main distributor for big brands, skateboard brands in US. You know, so whatever brands that KL has came from Rupert Ridge. Rupert Ridge will distribute it out here. Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, not many people know about this.
So what? I mean, how did Rupert Ridge get that kind of a distribution deal, or how did he start?
I don't know, man. This old man is a brilliant guy. William, his name.
Okay.
Shout out to William. Yeah, because of him, this guy named William, the owner of Rupert Ridge, he brought up the skateboarding scene from day one up until now, you know. Yeah.
Because that's one thing I realized. I've been to Kuching a few times. You know, I've met a few of our mutual friends, right? And there is a huge skate culture
Yeah.
that's there. So maybe could you comment on the difference in the skate culture, maybe in East Malaysia or Kuching specifically, versus the skate culture in Peninsular Malaysia?
Like you said, the community is big and it's getting bigger back home in Sarawak, and here is much more bigger, like 3 times, 4 times bigger, you know. But the difference between East and West Malaysia is most of the local brands and big brands are located here now, you know, in West Malaysia. So there's a lot of support, there's a lot of event going on. So the more events there are, then, you know, the industry will keep growing lah. To compare with Sarawak, not much of local brands, or I'm not sure why. Maybe the awareness of entrepreneurship into skateboarding industry is not there. You know, maybe the perception of the society there, like, skateboarding, apa je skateboarding, you know, you cannot make a living out of it, you know, why you buang masa doing all this shit, you know.
So that leads on to the next question, right? So here you are, right, going to the KV Mall, right, hanging out with all these people, meeting up with William from Rupert Rage, building your passion. So then it goes to public perception. How did your family, more importantly your parents, your family, how did they react when they found out that, hey, this boy is doing skating and not playing football or studying, for example? How was the reaction like?
Okay, growing up back home, like a lot of kids back home, we play football, you know, we join school running, marathon, but that didn't outshine me lah, you know, kind of thing. So there's one day I watched X Games on TV. I was like, wow, what is this thing? Like, whoa! I saw Tony Hawk, Bob Burnquist, Andy McDonald, all these big names, Omar Hassan. They were playing vert ramps. I was like, whoa! How did they even spin and flip and catch the board? And it was so amazing, and I just got hooked with it. And I was like, how can I get myself into this, you know? And my dad was beside me. And okay, during that time, inline skate was popular. Wow, inline skate was popular, but it's so expensive.
But that's the thing, right? I mean, similar to you, I also watched X Games, right? Mega TV, I remember.
Mega TV.
Before Astro, right? So that's the thing. There were 3 sports. There was BMX, there was inline skates, and there was skateboarding, right? I remember some names like Dave Mira, Jay Myron.
BMX.
So exactly, and that was what excited me when I watched the BMX bike, because I cycled. I mean, all of us grew up, I'm assuming, cycling, right? Exactly. So how did skateboard excite you more or interest you more versus the other extreme sports?
I don't know. Maybe at that time it was showing skateboard, and I was like, Dad, I want to get that. And also, the other factor is that bicycle and inline is more expensive than getting a skateboard.
I understood the barrier to entry, the cost for starting that sport. Got it.
Yes. So I asked my dad lah, okay, cancel lah, beli inline. I want to get a skateboard. Oh, okay. It's much more cheaper, right? Yeah.
Well done.
So I waited lah. My dad said, tunggu hujung bulan lah dapat gaji, I get for you lah. Tunggu hujung bulan tak ada. Like, Dad, where's the skateboard that you promised? Tunggu another bulan lah. Waited. And then in the end, we got it. But I got my skateboard from Paksen.
What happened to William's shop?
It was too expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. We couldn't afford that lah, you know, because Williams. Rupert Rage skateboards are all branded skateboards, you know.
Okay.
Like, so, I got the skateboard from Paksen. It was memang cikai punya lah, just like I don't know how many layers of wood, berat gila. And then the wheels were very soft, and when we were riding it on the tar, it's like you push sikit, it just moved like 1 meter ni, like what? And the bearings pun teruk. But at that time, you got no choice lah, you got the skateboard that you wanted, and you have to learn how to skate then. And we don't know shit about how to skate, like I imagining myself getting a skateboard and I can do whatever Tony Hawk is doing on the TV, but no. I don't have that vert ram. And I was like, how do I start skating? So I just started by riding lah first, pushing and riding, and then just made up, like just kick the board and try to jump onto it, like figuring out how to ollie. Like no one teaches us. There's no I don't know.
There's no YouTube. Like
there's
for
no
example,
YouTube. Yeah.
Kids today have it
Nothing.
easy, right? Like whatever you want to learn, how to play the guitar, how to skate,
YouTube,
even how to play poker, YouTube will teach you. But back then, we didn't have YouTube. So,
No, man.
so you just figured out how to kick the board so that the board goes up and an ollie happens.
Yeah. Exactly. Having a skateboard somehow, I don't know, just by holding it,
Makes you feel cool,
oh
right?
yeah. It gives you that self-esteem, like wow, like so cool. Pakai topi terbalik, like wow. Shit.
It's the same thing. When I was in school, you had the guys who were skaters. So the skaters always wore baggy pants.
Yeah.
They had the upside down cap.
Yeah.
So they were one crew. I was part of the musician crew. So I just bring my guitar everywhere. So we had our own coolness. But you're right. The moment you've got the skateboard, right, your cool level just goes up. I don't know if you can get girls, but the cool level goes up, right? So do you remember that feeling the first time you hit your first trick? Maybe an ollie.
Yeah, it was an ollie. So, how we somehow figured out how ollie works was, okay, we were, like I said, we were poser, bring our skateboard on Saturday, go KP, trying to look out for skateboarders, because like I said, KP is a place where you try to find your vibe. Where is your space, a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
So I want to belong in a skateboarding society or community. So me and Luke went to KP lah, bawa skateboard, and our skateboard was so clean, There's no board slide mark, there's no grind on the trucks, nothing. Just tanah on our grip tape only. And jalan, and we saw a skate shop. Like wow, like what? That's when I first knew about Rupert Rage lah. Like
Got it.
This is the shop where all the cool guys will hang out.
Got it.
So from there we start to get to know with other skateboarders, and then in front of the shop, kids would. It's like a meeting point, Kids would just go there, sit there, just lepak je, duduk on the skateboard, just lepak, waiting for their friend to come. Oh, dah kumpul, okay, let's go hit the road or hit the spot, Kan that time got no phones.
Yeah.
And then you call from your house phone. Okay, hey bro, later meet up at KP at 9 a.m. Okay, 9 a.m. Don't be late. It's all about trust, man.
Bro,
it's all about trust.
I can relate to this, right?
Yeah.
If you are a KL kid, right, growing up in the 80s and 90s, it's Pertama complex. We will be same thing, right? I mean, I come from PJ, Petaling Jaya, which is a little bit of a distance from KL. I'll have to take the bus, right?
Yep.
So if I have to meet there at 9 o'clock, I gotta take the bus at 7:38, right? Just to make sure that I'm there. So
right.
I get it. It's a congregation point to meet your friends, and after that you do whatever activities that you have to do.
We were so disciplined. We got the time management right, like 7:30 I have to get ready and take the bus. Shit,
Yeah, man. So that's the thing. I think we were all raised differently, right? We didn't have things like YouTube, handphones, and stuff. So here's the thing. So you found Rupert Rage Shop.
Yeah.
You found people that were like you, And I'm assuming that's where you found people who actually helped you, who
Yes.
taught you a few of the
Yes.
skills, right?
Exactly. So I met some senior skateboarders, and I saw them while we were waiting for our gang lah in front of the shop. So this senior skateboarder, they would do some tricks in front of the shop, and we were like, "Whoa, how did he do that?" And then he actually did an ollie. He's like, "Oh, that's how you do it." Okay. So we that moment we just downloaded in our brain, and then okay, look, tomorrow morning we meet up at the neighborhood. Let's do this. You know?
And you practice?
We practice how to ollie. Oh, that's how you do it. Blah blah blah. And we somehow got it. You know, I was the one who got the ollie first, and I was so excited to see Luke. And then I was like, "Look, I know how to do it. Show me. Oh, like this. Oh, they show him, and then he pun start practicing, and then he got it also. You know, like that was the moment that really boosted our passion in skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now I know how to figure out this skateboarding. So okay, this is how we start. Okay, we start from ollie, and then from there we do more tricks. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally relate. You know, for music, it's the same thing. Like the first time I did a guitar solo, right? From going from the typical GD CD chords to doing a solo, and I get it. That's how you build that passion. The moment you are able to do something that is a little bit above basic, then it builds that passion. So understood on how you grew up in Kuching and how this passion for skateboarding happened, right? Now I want to talk about something else. So then you had to become an adult, I assume, and you did this whole career in finance. So tell me a little bit about this whole, you know, doing a career in finance.
Okay. Okay. It brings back to how I grew up those days, because we kept moving from one place to another place.
Oh, okay.
So that create that character of me being able to adapt to changes, to situation, right? And as I grew up in Kuching, after Form 5, I was like just doing waitering, you know, work in the hotel, Hilton, in the banquet, you know, part-time. And I was like, I don't see myself going anywhere, you know, like I gotta go out from here, you know. So I moved to KL. So moved to KL, I studied, and my other hobby is to draw, you know, in art.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I studied industrial design.
Okay.
So because it has more like sketching and, you know, drawing and shit like that. So I was really into it. I was really good at it. And I graduated, and then I became an industrial designer. So I work in a company in Kota Kemuning, Shah Alam.
Okay.
So what we do there was we prototype a product for example, like a backpack, but we make it more fancier or simplify it probably. So we come up with some designs, and that's what I did. So design, and then come up with a product, and it really makes me happy lah to see your end product there. But the pay was not
The
really
greatest.
the greatest lah. Not really what I wanted, or not worth it lah. You know, I worked so hard, and then I only get paid like 1,000 plus. Like, you know,
Oh, that's tough, dude.
that's tough, man. Yeah. And then one of my friend came to me, "Hey, Joseph, hey, you wanna work in a bank? Huh? In a bank? I don't know shit about banking, you know, like I'm very bad with numbers. It's okay, don't worry."
Wait a minute. You're bad with numbers, and you had a career in finance. There is hope for all of you. Okay.
It's okay, Joseph. Everything is in the system. You just click here, click there. Oh yeah, ka. You don't have to count anything. Oh yeah, ka. Okay lah, on lah. So I took that challenge lah. I took it lah. Say, okay, on. send my resume. She was the manager, and then okay, approve. Then I quit designing, and then I got into banking somehow.
Okay.
So in HSBC. So HSBC, I was working in the back office doing settlements. So like she said, yeah, I didn't have to count. It's just a click a button, okay, all this, but like I said, I adapt to changes. So that's how I learn. And then the pay was good, and at that time, at that age, it's all about, you just want to climb that ladder, you wanna reach there,
Manager,
head of department,
VP. I got it.
And it gets tougher and tougher, and a lot of politics going on in the office. Like what? Like corporate politics. Like it just drains you.
I understand, dude.
And the money was okay. Can sustain me, and I managed to pay my bills and stay in a condo and get a car, and go back to Kuching. That's more than enough for me, But it's draining lah, like balik rumah, stress. And that time I was working UK hours. I come in at 3, balik tengah malam, and then itu pun kalau I balik tengah malam lah. The office is not far from Cangkat, and then
so there's always round 2. There's always round 2.
And go Cangkat, balik pukul 6 pagi, like next day kena kerja, like
that's the passion of being young lah back then. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Now 12 o'clock you want to sleep, you're tired.
That's right. And then I was like, susah lah, stress lah. And then somehow I moved to another bank, to Standard Chartered, because I want to look for a 9 to 5 job. So they had an offer, 9 to 5 job. So I got into Standard Chartered. Worked 3 years there after 7 years in HSBC. And COVID came into the picture.
Okay.
And I got redundant from the job lah. So I got a choice lah, whether to stay or to take that VSS. So I was like, you know what? I'll just take it.
Okay.
After discussing with my wife lah, it was a tough decision, because we just got married, and we just had my firstborn. It was quite tough. Like, shit, what am I going to do? What are we going to do? And that time I was already coaching, but only weekends. Just saja-saja lah, I already took my license and coaching, so I was just doing the weekend. And then after I kena buang, when I accept that VSS, and I was like, okay, let's just do skateboarding coaching full time, because I started to get more demands lah, people kept asking, hey Joseph, got slot Ayo, sorry, full you only do weekends and then
so it was very organic.
I want to send my kid for after school on weekdays. Sorry, I cannot. And then that just started to came to me like, actually we can sustain this, Okay, so I start collecting all this demands, and then just start small, and then that's how we grow. And then it just stuck to me, and doing it just gives me so much of satisfaction. Gila, like you're doing something that you love, and then you're sharing that love to kids, and you can see the smile on the kids after they even push their boards, like wow,
Yeah, I mean to be honest, I think that's kind of the dream, right? So what I get was, it's a victim of circumstance. MCO happened, you were made redundant, but what I like is the fact that you were already doing this on the side. You were already teaching your friends, kids and stuff. So it just made sense to just organically go into the business. All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about JR Skates? What is JR Skates all about? What services do you guys offer? Yeah.
So JR Skate is, JR stands for Joseph Romy, not Junior. But kena juga, because some people thought that it's junior because I ajar budak-budak, right? So maybe it's junior. Yeah. But actually it's Joseph from me lah. Yeah. So we started JR Skate 3 years ago, or 3 years ago, something like that. And what JR Skate offers is the awareness of skateboarding. We teach the 101 fundamentals of skateboarding, because there's a lot of people who wants to skate but they don't know how. So we cater to that kind of people who wants to learn how to skate. So we have beginner, intermediate and advanced levels lah. And we offer package for groups of 5 in a class, and also a private one-to-one. So other than our classes, we also do skate clinics and skate camps. So during that skate camp or skate clinic, what JR Skate main goal or purpose is to educate skateboarders through skateboarding. We call it skateducation. Yeah, skateducation.
Alright, you got to trademark that. Make sure day one bahasa pustaka there's a new word. Okay. Skateducation.
Skateducation. So in our program, we try to share the values of skateboarding. Like for example, like perseverance, embracing failure, persistencies, focus, and boosting your confidence through skateboarding, and face your fear, all that shit lah, you know. So during the clinic or camp, we emphasize that, you know.
So it's not just about learning about skateboarding, because this sounds very much like a character building thing.
Exactly.
I think that's beautiful.
Yes.
You know.
So because that's what happened to me. That's what skateboarding did to me, you know. Skateboarding built my character and built who I am right now, you know. And I wasn't as confident as I think I am confident now lah, you know. Like, you know, skateboarding gave me that confidence, boosted that confidence, from getting me to hang out with other people from other backgrounds, and then you got no choice but to communicate because you're sharing the same passion, you know. So yeah, skateboarding is more than the ability to stand on a skateboard and do tricks. It's more than that.
Now that's beautiful. I mean, so when we look at the business model, you offer classes, either 5 to a class or one-on-one. You've got intermediate, so you've got beginner, intermediate, and advanced classes, and you've got skate camps that not only teach you those skateboarding skills, but more importantly, teaches you life skills, character building, right? So here's the interesting thing, right? So you've been running this business. You know, how many students do you have in total, and how many instructors do you have?
Now we have probably around 50 students or more than that. Because we also, besides our regular classes, JR Skate is also offering CCA, curriculum activity, after school activity in schools.
That's the best thing, right?
Yeah.
You managed to penetrate the education market. So I'm assuming you're in a few schools where, like you mentioned, you offer this as a CCA, as an additional curriculum activity.
Yes.
What schools are you in?
Currently, we're in British International School in Bandar Utama, and International School Park City in Desa Park City, and also ISKL.
Oh, very nice. All international school, Hey, very good.
There are a lot more schools that have approached us. It's just that we are lack of manpower lah, you know.
So you want to do it, but you just need to find the people. So speaking of manpower, how many people do you have
coaches
running the business with you?
Running the business is me and my wife Suyin.
Okay.
So Suyin
Shout
is
out
the
to Suyin.
Suyin is the program director.
Okay.
So all the programs she customized it accordingly, and head coach is me, and I have maybe 3 assistant coaches under me at the moment. But it's not easy to find coaches, you know. It's not easy. We have a lot of skateboarders who can skate so well, but to find a skateboarder that can teach and have patience and how to handle kids especially, it's another one, another level.
Goes on to my next question, right? So you say you've got about 50 students, right? I mean, how many % of those are kids? How many % of those are adults?
I would say 70-30. 70 kids.
Okay,
70%.
so which is harder to teach? Adults or kids, and why?
Kids. So I would say kids because their focus span depends on their age lah. The younger they are, lagi susah. You know, like 5 years old, 6 years old. I was like, oh my god, this group again. Oh man,
this sounds like my son. So my son actually has classes. He's been going for classes for the past, I think, 3 months, right? And as a parent watching him, I get very frustrated because he does like one activity for maybe about 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and the next thing you know, he runs up the ramp and comes down, runs up and come down. And it's not just him. I look at the whole bunch of other kids. Everyone is kind of similar.
Yeah.
So how do you then train your coaches, or what do you do to try to get them to be disciplined in doing the activities?
So normally, what I would do to this group of kids, I would tell them, okay, guys, you want to skate, right? And then, okay, these are the rules. So I gave the rules. If they don't follow it, I'll give them a timeout, you know, like, you know, what we do at home, you know, as parents, you know. So I apply that in my classes. It's not easy. Some kids just tak kisah, like, run here, run there, run here, run there. But it would come to a certain time when, if it's too much to control, I would say to the parents, you know what, your kid not interested .
Okay, so far my kid is okay, huh?
Okay, yeah.
Kai, if you're watching this a few years from now, you realize, pay attention.
Yeah, like for example, like Kai, like you said when we first started, his focus span sekejap je, 5 minutes on the board, and then the rest of the time just go around and talk and just, you know, kacau budak lain, you know. But after few classes, he started to stay longer, you know. The focus gets longer and longer because how we do our classes, we want to interact with kids through skateboarding to have fun learning, you know, because at that age they just want to have fun, they just want to play, you know.
Yeah.
So we do it like a playful kind of lesson, like, you know, they have so much energy, so why not? Okay, we would arrange skateboards, like 5 skateboards, so they need to jump from one skateboard to another skateboard, and after they can jump 3 skateboards, we add another one. So we just want to play around with the energy that they have, and then they get so happy doing it. So when they get happy and they want to do more, then that will build that interest in them.
I mean, and to be fair, I think seeing that my son is a test subject, you know, what I found interesting is the fact that, like, after a few weeks of classes, he really enjoyed it. You know, I think I shared videos with you. He wants to skate on his own and not just during classes. And it built, like what you said, character building. I believe that, like, it built his bravery, because my son tends to be a little bit scared of certain things, but it really built his bravery, I felt. You know? So that's what I thought that was cool about, you know, him doing the skating thing. So when we talk about JR Skates, right, what do you think sets your business apart from the other skate schools out there?
I think from my point of view, especially when you're handling kids, we tend to be more attentive to kids. What I want from my coaches, I always tell them to be more attentive to the kids, because not every coaches you see has that patience or the skill to approach different kids in a different way, you know. Kid number 1, different way to approach. Kid number 2, different way. So you have to like adjust that on that time, you know. Like, so from JR Skate point of view, we emphasizes on how to build that trust and relationship with our kids, our students. From there only they would, you know, trust in you and want to learn more from you. And what I see, not many coaches have that from other schools, you know.
I can attest to that. You've got one coach, I think his name is Coach Stu.
Yeah.
He I think, I don't know if he's a parent, but he would make an amazing father. The way he handles my son specifically, his patience, it's basic things which you learn in early childhood education. For example, to bring your level as low. Exactly. It's actually basic parenting, which most of the time some parents will know. I'm very lucky because my wife is an educator. So to see him do that, it really sets you guys apart. You understand how to speak to children, to treat them with a certain kind of respect, and to also understand that they have the ability to do certain things. Because sometimes we don't believe, "Ayo, you mean kids can do that? Are you sure?" Like sometimes when you go to the skate park, if you ever see the Mont Kiara skate park, right? You'll see kids as young as 5 years old, 6 years old, going up this huge vert ramp up and down. And like, you know, I watch in awe that kids can do this. You know, so always believe in the abilities of your kids. Your kids can do anything they want to. Trust them.
You just have to support them, you know, in what they're doing.
Exactly.
Support them, and then just like I said, build that trust, lah. You know, that's what you know, differentiate us from others.
Okay.
I would say.
What is the biggest challenge when it comes to running your business? You know, like a few things, right? Like, how did you have to deal with maybe your family? What did your family have to say when you told them, "I'm quitting this, you know, cushy finance job. I'm opening a skate school"? And operationally, what are the challenges that you face?
My family was very supportive towards it. They know that I think they have confidence in what I'm going to do. Okay, Joseph gonna coach kids in skateboarding. He's good at skateboarding, and he loves kids and he loves teaching. So yeah, why not just go for it, you know? So from there I got no problem. And then the while running the business, the most challenging part when I was doing it on my own was to manage time management lah, you know, like we're stuck in time management, right? So dah lah, you coaching, and then got query, and you have to reply to messages, and then you have to book a slot for this customer, and then it just kept coming, and then that was my challenge lah. That's when Suin steps in, and then she's like, "Don't worry, my man." Let me handle those shit.
Husband, you manage the teaching. I'll manage the business. Right.
She's the boss, yeah,
bro. Yeah. All our wives are our boss. Okay, trust me. So she makes 70% of the company she owns.
Yes.
You are just the coolie.
I coolie je. So yeah, challenges. I would say the most challenging is handling customers, because some of our customers that think skateboarding is like other sports, like football. You can learn how to kick a ball in 5 minutes, you know. So they expect that from skateboarding, you know, like some parents like, I already sent my kid for your classes for 1 month already. He said he still don't know how to do kickflip. I was like, whoa, dude, kickflip will take years, man. You cannot learn kickflip in 1 month, man. So you have to explain them. That is why the awareness of this particular sport is very important. There is a process for you to progress to a different level. You just gotta have that passion lah. And then you have to put some time to it. Because skateboarding is all about repetitive action. The more you do it, the better you get.
Yeah. It's, when it comes to practice, right, you got to practice with a purpose.
Yeah.
Right? Make sure that it's not just about being repetitive. You got to have a purpose. I want to learn this. Just like your example of the ollie, right? You saw someone doing the ollie, and your purpose of that practice in the taman was ollie.
Yeah.
So exactly, it's the same with this. So you're speaking about the awareness of the sport, right? But here's the thing. I think in recent years, skateboarding and skateboarding culture has become so popular. If I'm not mistaken, it's an Olympic sport.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
So what do you think is driving the popularity of the sport right now?
Of course, the recognition of skateboarding into Olympic as it's an Olympic sport, man. It's no longer a street sport. People don't really look bad at it towards skateboarding anymore. But there are some people still. But that is what we're trying to give awareness of. Okay, skateboarding is more than what you think it is. It's you think it's a rebel sport, punk rock, smoke weed and get drunk, all that, perception. But we don't want to see that.
Yeah, agreed.
Why don't you look at the positive side of it? There's more than whatever you thought it was,
Yeah. Like what you said, like your camps. It's about building character. And I totally agree.
Yeah.
Any success stories that you can share with maybe any of the kids or any of your students?
Yes. Most of the success stories from parents or students is confidence. I have a lot of parents sending their kids because their kids don't even know how to create conversation with each other, or don't even look at you in your eyes when they're talking. I think the pandemic really affect
social interaction.
So during classes, that is why I always encourage group classes for kids. I want them to mingle around and then start a conversation. It's a social development lah. And after few classes for this certain group of kids, you can see their confidence were level up suddenly. Suddenly they create conversation with you, and then parents would come to me like, "Hey Joseph, wow, my kid now so confident lah. He start to make friends." Because like I said, like how I grew up, just by holding a skateboard, your self-esteem boosted.
Suddenly you become the cool kid,
yeah,
right?
Suddenly cool kid. You see these kids nerdy, tapi after few classes, wow, you can see his dress up pun lain. At first came to my class first day macam abang kind of outfit. What are you wearing, dude? 3/4 and sport shoe. After a while, I think he sees a lot of skateboarders wearing cool outfit, and they started to. The parents were like, "Hey, my son asked me to buy this kind of shirt or this kind of pants, this kind of shoe." Okay. Quite expensive, huh? Yeah lah.
My son has fallen in love with Vans.
Oh,
because in the skate park there's Vans everywhere. Right? So when we
yeah.
go to the mall, he's like, "Yo, Dada, those Vans shoes, my size got." I say, hold on, boy.
Tunggu hujung bulan lah.
So let's just say lah. I mean, honestly, Joseph, based on this conversation, right? I can really see your passion for the sport. I think you're not just teaching people how to skate. You're teaching people how to build this confidence, especially children. You know, I see it from my son who's taking classes with you and your coaches, and it is something that I recommend for kids out there, and even for adults as well. So, I mean, going on to that, right? What advice would you give someone who wants to start skating? Right? What advice do you tell them? How do I get started?
For someone who want to start skating, I'm pretty sure they would have a lot of anxiety, like, oh, how do I start? Where do I buy this? Or what should I buy? Or what type of skateboard? You know, so that's what we are offering to people who wants to learn how to skate. We're not only teaching you how to skate, but we will guide you. Okay, what kind of shoe you have to wear? You know, what kind of board should you buy? Okay, let's start with something basic. Don't have to spend too much. You know,
Decathlon.
Decathlon sponsor.
I'm going to send this to you, Decathlon. Right? I will wear your baju.
But actually, yes, I mean, Decathlon is the most affordable place to get skateboards. Like
I agree.
A basic but good quality skateboards, affordable. You know, skate shop, they have high quality skateboards, which is good. But as a start, maybe you don't want to spend so much lah, you know. So you get a basic one, and then what we also show or give to our clients who want to start skateboarding, we would tell them it's okay, don't worry. We have methods and tips on how to start skating. Like you might thought that I can't even stand, I don't have that balance, but with the right techniques that we have so far, that I thought everyone managed to at least stand on a skateboard and ride, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I was very, because my son is a little clumsy. He has issues with balance. He falls down all the time. But to see him be so confident after maybe about a month of skating, and he can push, you know, that for me was such a beautiful thing to watch. From barely being able to balance, right?
I remember that.
Yeah, to be able to push. So yeah, I get that. So to anyone who wants to start out there, you know, later we can share your socials, and then you can start lah.
Sure.
But let's go to some fun stuff lah, Joseph. Now we go to some fun stuff. So we spoke about the history, you know, how you grew up, how you picked up skateboarding, finance to skateboarding. We spoke about your skateboarding business. Now some fun stuff lah, right?
Okay.
If you could be a skater for a day, who would you be and why?
I would be Tony Hawk lah.
Tony Hawk lah, bro.
If I could be like Tony Hawk for a day, why I chose him? Because I wanna feel like how to be someone who started from skateboarding and now he's like a billionaire. Like I think one of the richest skateboarder in the world.
He's a skating icon globally. Dude.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know Tony Hawk?
Yeah.
Right?
And he's so rich. He has like his own games, his companies.
Did you play Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
Of course. Who doesn't? Yeah. But he's so humble. Like I've watched many of his documentaries and his show. Like you can see how genuine he is, in how passionate he is in sharing
his knowledge,
sharing the love of skateboarding, you know. And that really ignites my passion lah, you know. That's what I want to be. I want to be like him, you know.
Yeah, I think that's one thing about Tony Hawk. You got the exact word, humility.
Yes.
I mean, again, it's all videos that we watch on social and stuff, right? But people, when they share, he's so humble. So now we talk back about skateboarding, right? Like, what is the most fun and most difficult trick that you can do?
Most fun, difficult to learn is a kickflip. So kickflip is a trick where when you reach the advanced stage, you start to learn how to flip the skateboard lah, the deck. And it's so much fun because you can turn that trick into a variation of tricks, you know? Like you can do kickflip 50-50 or kickflip backside tail slide and a kickflip out. So there's a lot of variation. You can do 360 flip, frontside flip. It's just once you know how to flick the board and then flip it, and you just combine with your body movement, and then you flip the board together with your body turning. You know, it's just it's really fun. That trick is the most fun and difficult trick for me.
Yeah, so once you've learned the basics of the kickflip, that is how you do those variations to make it even cooler.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
What's the most fun part about running your business?
The fun part is end of the class where we do sharing or reflection. Like sometimes we would just sit down and okay, what do you think of your class? Oh, it's so much fun. Oh yeah. So, and we would point out things like, oh, when you first started just now, you were so scared to go down that ramp, and look at you now, you went down on your own. Yeah. You can see that face, that satisfaction, like and that's the best thing in coaching lah, you know.
Yeah, I
see
mean,
that.
To see that moment where they broke the third wall suddenly, I can do this. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing, right? Especially as a parent if you watch that. And speaking of parent, you just recently became a father to a second one, right? Yep. So how
2 months ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Again. How has fatherhood impacted your life and impacted you running your business?
Fatherhood mold me into another character, like how to be more patient, how to look at your own emotion, and how do you speak to your kid, and how you act towards your kid or in front of them. So it's like cerminkan diri sendiri lah, you know. Like before you like for example, sometimes you so stressed, you marah, you just want to bang the chair or what, but you think twice, like, oh, I shouldn't do this in front of my kid, you know. So it gives you the ability to step back.
Yes.
Step back before you act. Step back, because I wasn't like that, you know. I always like act je, you know. Like, and then the hustle may be bad, and then you have to, you know, figure out how to solve it lah. But now it teaches me to step back and see the situation. Okay, how do I handle this situation? You know, and that I bring that element into my coaching as well. You know, like when certain kids unable to do certain tricks, and I try to, okay, don't push them, just let them have their space and step back, and then I try to figure out, okay, why? Oh, maybe because his body didn't, you know, put on this right position. You know, it teaches me to pause for a while and then see the whole situation and solve it.
I mean, that's the thing about life, right? It's always important to take a step back and to look at the bigger picture, because sometimes you've only got tunnel vision. You're just looking at it in one way. Take a step back, get a broader look, and understand why things are happening.
Yeah.
All right. If let's say I was to take your phone and open your Spotify, all right, what are the top 3 songs right now, or 3 bands that's on your Spotify right now? Let me guess. Cocomelon.
Disney hits. Disney hits. Radiohead, and what's the other one? Red Hot Chili Peppers lah.
I actually a few months ago watched Red Hot Chili Peppers in Singapore live. Yeah.
Oh.
They weren't that great. They were playing a lot of B-sides. So RHCP, if you're watching this, right, which I doubt you are, but if you are, can you please play better songs? Okay? All right, last question. I always ask my guests this, right? What's your 3 favorite things to eat, and where can we get them?
Kolok mee.
Okay, where? Where's the best kolok mee?
I would say it's called Mama Ting. It's in SS2.
Excuse me, you come from Kuching, you know.
Yeah,
Are you telling me SS2 is better than Kuching?
No. Kuching is the best, but being here, of course lah, you're unable to go back, right? So the best so far here is Mama Ting lah.
Okay, the best in Kuching?
Oh, Siang Siang.
Siang. Very famous.
Kabuan Jaya. Whenever I go back, we always go to Siang Siang first. That's the first thing to do.
Mama Ting SS2 or Siang Siang in Tabuan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Number 2?
Number 2, Indian food, Acha Curry House.
Acha Curry House. The one that is now in Taman Bahagia.
Is it in Taman Bahagia now? Because the last time I went was here in PJ here.
Section 17.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, they actually moved to Taman Bahagia. If I'm not mistaken. Acha Curry House, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the third is I would say Pelita lah kot. Pelita is like whatever you can find there, man.
So Malaysian. You must choose a mama, right? You got to choose a mama. Roti canai, nasi kandar, you go Pelita.
Perut Malaysian ni.
Alright, hey, Joseph, thank you so much for being on the show. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. It was so good to hear your story about how you grew up, how you built this passion. And I can see that passion coming through you in running the school. It's not just about teaching kids how to skate. It's about building their self-confidence and to build their character. Yeah. So, Joseph, if you'd like to share anything to the people out there who are listening and watching, how can they know more about JR Skates and how can they contact you?
You can go to our IG, grskate_my, or Facebook, and you can check out our website, www.grskates.com.
Yeah, we'll link all of this at the bottom for YouTube and Spotify as well. So thanks, Joseph.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for being for the show. And thank you for watching another episode of Find the Real, where I believe everyone has a story. Catch you in the next episode. Peace.
Woo!